So in IELTS speaking exam, what are the things that you need to remember? First thing I always tell that be genuine, be honest in your speaking, in your articulation, in your idea creation. Many times students, they tell me, okay, um, what if I don't know the answer? Can I make a story? Can I make up the answer? Genuinely, I would say no, because I'm going to tell you the strategies that if you do not have the answer, how you are going to handle those answers, right? That situations. But if you will not be honest and if you are making up stories, I am 100% sure that you are nervous, there is an anxiety, it is an exam. Then if you're making up some answer, you will get stuck somewhere because a rush of ideas will keep coming in your brain and you say, okay, now let me make up like this, let me make up like this. So your all energies and your thought is going towards making up that idea. And chances are that you are forgetting what the question is. Or maybe you are building up the story and a point comes when you're just completely stuck and then you have nothing to say. But if you will be honest and genuine in expressing your life experiences and your own opinion, you will find more confident, more relaxed, more comfortable, and more articulation would be more flowy. So you will not lose your flow. So this is very important. And also the second point is that do not speak any preconditioned ideas in your brain, or do not, kind of memorize the answers. That's not going to work because you do not know from where the questions are going to come. Although I'm going to tell you the themes that are very popular and what types of questions are going to come, which will help you to, to understand that, okay, no memorization can work in this exam. It's a speaking exam. So let me give you one example. So before starting the class, did I memorize the sentences and the words that I'm going to speak in the class? No, no. When you are talking to me, did you memorize before that this is what I'm going to talk to my teacher or instructor? No. So the speaking is never memorized. So if speaking is never memorized, how are you going to prepare for memorize all like hundreds and thousands of questions for IELTS? So basically you need to understand, okay, this is the question, this is my life experience, and this is for this type of question, this type of answer is required. So I will be teaching you different types of questions that can be asked in speaking part. Now, many times students, they say, okay, so do we need to worry about the time? How much time should we spend? So 1 minute for each answer is good, or I don't know if my answer is short. I don't know if my answer is long. And if, I'm continuing to speak, at what time should I end? So my expertise says that you don't have to worry about the time length of the answer in part 3. So what is your, and so how would you handle? So you need to do the task achievement. Your worry should be, am I able to answer the question what is being asked? If I'm able to answer that question with full content and with convincing supporting details, then I'm able to answer even in 45 seconds, 1 minute, 1 minute, 3 seconds, doesn't matter. 35 seconds, doesn't matter, because you're able to give the content what is being required. So your main objective should be that I should be able to, answer the question fully rather than thinking about how much time I have to spend. So take all these things off from your head. Also, do not worry about examiner's response. Examiner has been assigned a duty to ask you questions and he or she is doing his or her duty. If they're taking any notes, don't worry about that. As I mentioned earlier, that they are not the examiner who are going to give you the marks. So what you have, your full focus should be in listening to the questions, understanding the content of the question, and then producing the answer. So these are the things that you need to consider. So in IELTS speaking part 3, we call it as a two-way discussion. It is going to be for 4 to 5 minutes. And in part 3, the examiner will ask you further questions related to the topic in part 2. So part 2 is a cue card. If they are talking about traveling in cue card, they will be asking about cue card. They will be asking you questions related to traveling in part 3. So now this one was, part 2 was on music. So the next questions are going to be related with music. Now, if you look here, the question is, let's considering listening to music. So the examiner is going to speak, let's consider listening to music. So you must pay attention when the examiner is speaking these small, sentences that, okay, let's consider listening to music. That means the next questions that are going to come, they are going to be on music, right? Now, how many questions are there? There are 3 questions, 1, 2, 3, and then later on we can talk about this little later. So now pay attention. I'm going to teach you to understand the question type. Okay. So the first question is, how expensive is it to attend a concert in your country? So the question is, how expensive, right? Please write down on your notebooks the word how expensive. Now, if I say how difficult it is to get band 8 in IELTS exam, you will say, Nafrid, it's extremely difficult. And the question was, how difficult? If I say, how easy it is to cook rice, you will say it is moderately easy, or it is super easy. Or if somebody has not cooked rice before, you'll say extremely, not at all easy, not at all easy. So what I'm trying to teach you is that think about the word how expensive, how difficult, how easy, how cold, how harsh, how gentle. Just look at these words. So what does it mean if I say how easy it is to cook rice? Very easy, moderately easy, not at all easy. So there are 3 levels that you can respond with. Either you'll say it's extremely easy, but then you will say how it is extremely easy, or if it is moderately easy, how it is moderately easy. If it is not at all easy, how it is not at all easy. So you will get one question that would start with how, and then there will be an adjective, how expensive, how beautiful, how harsh, how easy. All right. So I'm going to share a slide with you where you will have a chance to see that. The answer, how you're going to create answer for that. Yes. So look at the slide. So it's how important, how strong, how severe, how beneficial, how advantageous, something that starts with how. And your answer can be, if they say, how advantageous it is for you to attend IELTS Power program. You can say, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, it is 9 to 10. It is very important. It is very crucial for me. It is necessary. It is essential. Or you might say, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think it is 0 or 1, not that important. It is of least importance to me, not at all important, unnecessary for me. I'm not bothered. It is not required. There is absolutely no need. It's not at all advantageous. Or you can say it is moderately, I may have to, it's somewhat important. It is somewhat, important to a certain extent, depends on the situation. So what I'm trying to teach you is that if you get a question that starts with how, and then there is an adjective, you have only 3 levels, 3 options to answer, either very high or very low or mediocre. Are you getting that point?
Yeah.
Right? And there will be one question, as I'm telling you, there will be one question. So the question is how expensive it is to attend a concert in your country. Now, this is the question. And let us say you have never been to a concert in your country. Let us say you do not have that experience. So before you answer the question, you can say, well, this is an interesting question. Unfortunately, I have never been to a concert in my country. However, I think I can still assess how expensive it is to attend a concert in my country. I believe that it is super expensive, very expensive to attend a concert in my country because many things are very expensive there now these days. Now, you have never had a first-hand experience, but still, could you imagine that because of your other kinds of experiences of life, you can still come up with some kind of, assessment of this question. So then you would say, how expensive? According to me, although I do not have any experience of attending a concert in my country, but I feel it is very expensive because even watching a movie is so expensive, going and watching, some drama, play, theater is very, very expensive. So definitely a concert must be very expensive. Then, why it is expensive? You will say, well, so now I want you to understand that just by answering that it, to my understanding, it is very expensive is not sufficient because you are just giving one statement that it is very expensive, but you are not giving any explanation of that, why it is expensive or how it is expensive. So in my power program, I teach students rule of three, that you must give explanation minimum using 3 sentences to explain your idea. I'm talking about minimum. Or you can give 3 reasons why do you think it is very expensive. Or you can give 3 different ideas of how you feel it is expensive. At the beginning, I said minimum 3 sentences. Yes, if you're speaking explanation, 3 sentences, that's fine because you do not have much content to say. But if you have reasons, why do you think they are expensive? If you can give 3 reasons, that's awesome, right? You can say primarily the first reason is that the cost of every single item in the world is going very, very high. Inflation is very high, so I'm guessing that the cost incurred there is also very, very high. Then you are going to give to the next reason. You'll say, second reason is that in a concert, there is not only a concert, the cost of singer, there is a stage setup, there has to be, music system, there has to be sitting arrangement, there has to be security, there has to be a parking lot arrangements. So all these things cost money. So I believe that considering these expenses, the cost of attending a concert is very expensive. So I believe that it is very expensive to attend a concert in my country, right? So if you see here, now I'm teaching you the next aspect, which is that your answer should have a beginning, middle, and end. So the beginning is, first you set up the stage because you did not have the experience. So you said, well, I do not have the experience, which is setting up the stage. And then you started answering the question that it is very expensive to attend a concert in my country. So that is your beginning introduction. And then you gave 2 reasons. One reason is the cost of everything is going up. And then the second reason that you gave was, cost of, setup, of the singer, of the music, of chairs, of sitting arrangement, parking, security. So that was your quite a good, heavy, convincing idea. So, and then at the end, you're saying, because of all these things, the price of attending, the cost of attending a concert is very, very high. So that is your ending. So you have a beginning, you have a middle, you have an ending. So this is how you must complete your answer, by going step by step. And you don't have to nervous. Take your time, come up with setting up of the stage if required, to say that, okay, I do not have much experience, I do not have much knowledge about this thing, but however, whatever I have my understanding, that is your first thing. And then how expensive, to answer that, extremely expensive. then why it is extremely expensive. And then you say, because of these reasons, it is expensive. So take your time, step by step, to speak that. Okay, don't be nervous. You know that there are three parts of this answer. I'm going to speak first part first, then I'm going to speak second part second, and then I'm going to speak third part third. And the examiner is not in a rush. You do what you have to do. You address a question that is being asked step by step. All right, thank you.